Joseph Duterte is often called the Donald Trump of the Philippines, and I think that is dangerous, and it is an erasure. I think what's worth looking at is what happens when people who are afraid put into power people who they perceive to be a strong man. To this day, over 6,000 people have died in the war on drugs in the Philippines since Duterte has taken office. And this poem begins with a quote from him. I don't care if I burn in hell, for as long as the people I serve live in paradise. The block breaks and bears the body of a man. In certain parts of a city, birth can mean the same as death. Life is lived in the interruptions. At the point of impact, the standard bullet creates only a small hole. Underneath, the skin works upon the muscle and nerves, crashes against the bone, creates a cavity that contracts as quickly as it expands. Most of the dying happens on the inside. Forgetting is a practice form when you live inside of a body that commits its trauma to memory. He says he's a killing man, the president, a punishing man. No one asks if he really means this. In the city where he was once mayor, there are people there that say they're no longer afraid to walk the streets at night. Everything has a cost. What are you willing to accept? Someone would save this country from itself, he says. The people deserve safety. Every person deserves safety. But whose people when we say this? How many bodies is safe worth? Aren't drugs about forgetting? To take crystal meth is to rename your hunger. Unthread the different needs of the body. The need to sleep, the need to be touched, the need to demand the justice that never comes. To forget that home is always impermanent and cities give you no place to roots. To forget how many can say the farms they grew up in now generate profit for people they'll never meet. The act of losing land becomes a condition of our bodies. Nothing for us is ever lost, it is only taken. They say the people of the Philippines' greatest asset is their ability to smile in the face of adversity, to live the fullness of life through all of its challenges. What are we supposed to do with this benevolence of suffering? What is it you see when you watch us dancing inside the ruins of a typhoon? In the provinces, they sometimes craft their own guns from scrap metal and spare parts. If every artist creates from a place of loving, what is it to make a gun in this fashion? How do you name a passion that forges this kind of talent? What do we do with the dead it makes? Only when the bleeding begins within do you start to bleed without. When it meets the air, isn't that a kind of holy water? How do you strip the sacred from dying? I am told you don't understand. These drug addicts are rapists, murderers, and thieves. See how easy it is. How does one extinguish a bullet? How do you put out a fire like that?